everybody. Ah, look at those smiling faces, right? So everybody, why don't you just sit down, and thank you so much for all being here. We're sort of waiting for some of our other court partners. Thank you. We can fill some of this seat. Do you have some seats over there? Sorry, we're just, Jose, Leonard, come on in. Will? So, as you see these people coming in, this is the leadership team in the office. You can come too. So I think we're waiting for the judges to join us. Everybody happy today? Yeah. All right, that's great. That's what we want to hear. We're also happy. It's sort of killing a little time here before as the judges, I'm sure, are on their way. We're starting a little earlier, so but we didn't want to keep you waiting. And what's so interesting is I'm sure my leadership team will join me in recognizing that when we interview your family members, your loved ones, all these new lawyers today, they're very serious in the interviews, they're very stern. And today they're like beaming ear to ear, like Cheshire cats, right? So it really is a very happy occasion. And everybody okay with parking? And yes? You don't care, right? So I suppose some of the judges I know are coming from other courtrooms. We have a federal district court judge who's coming from federal court, and our pastor's on time today. You weren't Sunday night, but that's okay. What we're talking about is Pastor Carl Johnson. You'll be meeting him formally in just a few minutes when we get started in a few minutes. And Sunday evening was his birthday. And it was a beautiful event, but we all waited for about an hour and a half for the pastor to come, you know. But it was okay. You were worth waiting for.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you made up for it today. And I know you came all the way from South Dade. You were at the sheriff's office. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Do we need some people to swear not at you guys, but in, right? So, well, should we get started anyway? Oh, I can make some introductions. How's that? So let's start with the leadership team at this office. No one can do the sort of work, manage the sort of complications of an office of this size. And for family members that don't know, we are the fourth or fifth largest state attorney's office or district attorney's office in the United States. And this particular judicial circuit is also one of the largest in the United States. I believe it's like third. And I see, so our former mayor, Manny Diaz, just walked in with his beautiful wife and daughter who's being sworn in today. You would have to make a grand entrance, Mr. Mayor, right? So let's see if we can find you, yes, why don't you, not that you get preferred seating, okay? But come on, Will, do we have any seating for them? Maybe, I think these are for the judges. Come on in, don't be shy. You're not shy. Hi, Robin, how are you? It's good to see you. We're just waiting for the judges to get started. Do we have any of the seats over there at all? Any squeeze? There we go. Remember, we talked about you guys are going to love each other by the end? There you go. Did you get a spot? Excellent. Thank you. So, I was about to talk to you about the leadership team. And it really, this is just one of the best team of public servants that work for you in this community, one of the largest, most complex communities, also in the country. And they're sitting right over there. I want to start with Jose Arrojo, because he's like, Jose, stand up. Kathleen Hogue, Daisy Hernandez, Howard Rosen, Leonard Thompson. You all know Leonard Thompson, right? Okay, Josh, can you beat that? All right, there we go. And who else are we missing? And then, of course, there's Will in the back, right? So Will is our training officer. So he puts together one of the best, most intense training programs probably anywhere in the country. And a lot of the folks that we interview, one of the things they say about why they want to come to this office is because we have one of the best training programs in the country. So Will, thank you for everything that you do. And now I see Steve. Where is he? What are you floating around here? He's bouncing. Steve is always bouncing around. As you know, but look, how about that? Steve Talpins, you recruited some of the best and the finest in the country. Thank you so much. And for those of you that don't know, he's their ultimate boss, so hence all the clapping, right? So let's see. Well, I guess we could, start by just welcoming everyone as the judges come. There we go. Woohoo! Hi, please, ladies, come in. This is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, what? Oh. Oh. Please come in. We were waiting for you. You're on time. You're perfect. We started a little early. Everybody rise for our judges. Come. I think we want you over here. Sorry. Are you more comfortable? Where are you more comfortable? Over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be introducing you shortly to these wonderful judges. And we thank you so much. They come from all over the county. I think everyone can be seated. Thank you so much. We're so happy you're here, and we're really grateful. We know you've come from all different sorts of responsibilities to join us today. So now we can officially begin, and I'm very happy to welcome all of you. And I want to thank you for being here, because this is one of our favorite events as an office. We look forward to all of our new members of the Florida Bar, as well as after that being sworn in as assistant state attorneys. So this is a big day for all of us. It's very special. And I just introduced my entire, not the entire leadership team, but the majority of them. And we really enjoy watching them grow. As you've seen them grow throughout their life, we've seen them grow in their early journey as a lawyer. We're thrilled to have all the family members. Family members are there and there, is that right? Can I see your hands? Nice. Oh, hi, Daddy. I see you at the gym every weekend. You look a lot different. But we really are so happy that you're all here today. And we're so sorry that we had overflow. We know, thankfully, for technology, we were able to include a lot of folks with our live stream. So to those of you out there watching us, thank you for also joining us. The thing about today, this one thing that's so special about it, is that our entire community is going to be the beneficiaries of their dedication, of their service, and the sacrifices you have made to be here today. They're going to learn, and they're going to grow, and they're going to every day seek justice. And the important step they're taking today is that they are becoming an essential role in our whole entire criminal justice system, as I explained to you before our judges arrived, it's one of the most complex systems that exists anywhere in America. And it's because they're becoming what we call ministers of justice. It's an extremely important responsibility, duty, and honor that they step forward today and take upon themselves. Ministers of justice, look at them over there. Isn't that beautiful? So we don't have our Pledge of Allegiance person yet, but we will ask, I think we'll ask, Will, would you like to do the Pledge of Allegiance? Awesome. So he got that's why I did that, okay? He gets the biggest applause, so if you would, please.
If we could face flag and stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. The clerk of court and our comptroller will be joining us. I'm right here, ma'am. You want to repeat? We do it again? We cannot praise this country more, right? We can never praise it enough. So, no, come back. You just made it. Everyone, this is our clerk of court and our comptroller, Juan Fernandez Bergun. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Madam State Attorney. I can tell you that having practiced in South Florida, you are a legend. You're a pillar in the community, and just thank you for everything you do. And it's exciting here to swear in some new assistant state attorneys, and welcome to the legal community. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you. And now, so I sort of did already introduce him in an informal way, but I do have a wonderful personal and professional privilege to introduce our pastor, Carl Johnson of the 93rd Street Baptist Church, who, by the way, is now the leader of Florida of the Baptist Convention. He's a dear friend. He's one of our most beloved civic leaders in this community. I've been with this gentleman when he stood on the steps of his church in the rain with microphones, asking anybody in the community that has information regarding a crime, a shooting that occurred. He was there doing that. He cares deeply, and we're very honored to have you here today. You're a true gem. Everyone, Pastor Carl Johnson.
Thank you so much, Madam State Attorney, for giving me this privilege to invoke God's blessing upon these new Assistant State Attorneys. With that being said, will you kindly please stand and honor our God and bow your heads for this invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you for raising up these new lawyers to serve as new Assistant State Attorneys in Florida. Grant them wisdom to discern truth, courage to uphold justice, and humility to serve the people with fairness and integrity. Strengthen them with patience in trials, compassion towards the vulnerable, and boldness against corruption and wrongdoing. May they walk in righteousness, guided by your Spirit, so that justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Bless their families, protect their hearts, and remind them daily that their calling is not only a profession, but also a service to humanity and to you, their God. May they lead with honor and leave a legacy of justice as they serve as ministers of justice. This I pray in your holy, heavenly, helpful name. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you so much. That was just so moving, everyone. You may be seated. I want to, again, thank all of our judges that are here today. And they do have such incredible responsibilities, and they came here today to really embrace these young, new ministers of justice, prosecutors in the system. and to also show support to all the family members for what you have given to this world. And so, again, I want to thank you all, and I also want to introduce them. So I'm going to, you kind of stay where you are right for a second, Beth, if you don't mind. Sorry, I shouldn't call you Beth. Honorable Beth Bloom is from the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. She will be the one administering the oath to you as you go into the Florida bar, and then later you will be sworn in as assistant state attorneys. So we have a double ceremony today. And we appreciate you being here. I'll say a little bit more about you later. And then Ariana Fajardo Orshon, she's on her way, or she's going to do her best to get here. She apologized. She was all the way in Doral, and you know how big this town is. She's going to do everything she can to join us here. She is a wonderful example of how you can start your legal career and end up in all kinds of incredibly successful positions. And if she comes, I will tell you more about that when she arrives. And Gina is not here yet, okay. The Honorable Yvonne Cuesta. So Yvonne is going to be the one administering the oath in the event that Ariana can't make it, or maybe all of you will do it. Oh, she's, okay. So we have multiple, you know, we could do that. We could all swear them in, right? But, I mean, you could all swear them in. And so Yvonne is our now Deputy Chief Judge of the Criminal Division. So our Chief Judge has 2 deputies, and she's got that enormous responsibility. But she's also one of our former partners in a different role many years ago. She's always been an outstanding lawyer. She was a public defender, and she was a wonderful public defender. And it's a good example and a good point in time to say that, you know, when we're in the courtroom, we're advocates, and sometimes serious adversaries. But when we walk out of that courtroom, we shake hands. We be civil and we're respectful. We all have a role to play to make sure the system works the way that it should. And so she's always been one of those leaders and role models for us. And then Lodi Jean, oh my goodness. So Lodi Jean, this is Lodi Jean. She's our administrative judge. So she's the one that sits over all this criminal part of the division. She's was the first Haitian judge in America?
No.
Oh.
First Haitian female in Miami-Dade County.
Okay. Get your title straight, Ken.
I like to say first Haitian female.
I know, that female part's important. Trust me, I know. But we're very proud of you, and we watched you. And she was a former assistant state attorney. So if you just think about it, she and Christina Hernandez, Christina, they can see you. She was also a former assistant state attorney. She then left us. It's not always wise move, but that's okay. To go to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She served there for many, many years. And then recently she was appointed to the Circuit Court Criminal Division. And we're just so proud of you. And now you're an associate judge as well. So you just went right to the top. And then Christy Nunez, Christy like this. So Christy Nunez also is a former assistant state attorney. And I know many of you are very interested in the human trafficking work that we do in the office. And she was one of the first leaders that led us as the director of our human trafficking division many years ago. She is now, obviously, she's a judge, and she's in charge of you guys, kind of. She's in charge of the county court criminal division of the county court division. So what I just think is so lovely is that you all served, and you remember you were sitting where they're now sitting. So, and Judge Bloom swore you in there too. See, you're unforgettable, Judge Bloom. So you see how this happens, right? It's just a beautiful cycle and journey in life. And so I also want to introduce some other dignitaries that we have here with us today. We have our very important partner, our public defender, Carlos Martinez. Carlos. Carlos and I collaborate more than you might think. Yes, we don't always agree on a lot of things, but we collaborate, and it's really a privilege to work with you, Carlos. You're just a pleasurable professional who cares about how this system runs and how to make it run better. So thank you for being here today. And then we also have the president of the Miami-Dade Association of Police Chiefs. For those of you, well, there we are, great. Hi, come in. This is our chief judge, please rise. Yes. Adriana Fajardo, or Sean, go like this already, we've talked about you. And next to her, hello, welcome.
How are you? True fashion. What an entrance.
And then you, I know, right? And this is Gina. I was mentioning you to be Avidis. She is the other deputy with our chief judge. Everybody may be seated. Thank you. So I was introducing the president of Dade Chiefs of Police. So there is an association where all the different, we have 35 police departments and other state and federal partners in law enforcement, both federal, state, and local. And they have an association, so they collaborate and they talk about the various things that are beneficial to them and detrimental to them. And so we have here with us today the president of that association, Michael Bentolila. Michael. He also happens to be the president, the police chief for Aventura, so he came all the way here. Thank you so much. And I want to just say that Al Palacio, director of FOP, is not able to join us today because he had a last-minute emergency. So, you've been through such an incredible intensive training program, as I said earlier, one of the most intensive in the country. And you've heard from people in our office, veterans, folks that handle homicide cases, manslaughter cases, sexual assault on children cases, burglary cases, fraud cases. You've heard from a whole bunch of them. And so you know firsthand how important it is to recognize the responsibilities and what we kind of expect of you. You heard from even Carlos Martinez. I invited him to speak to you so that we can always appreciate these young lawyers, these young prosecutors are going to be making very important decisions in people's lives every day, probably all day. And it's important for them to recognize the different consequences of prosecution and the collateral consequences of prosecutions and the decisions that they're going to be making. And you also heard from our police partners. I think you went over to the training bureau. I think your favorite part were the smell dogs. What do they call them? Yeah, those. What do they call those dogs? Thank you, canine dogs. Oh, boy. You also know that the fundamental purpose is really to protect, of our mission is to protect our community, uphold the laws of this great land and of our state, and in doing so, as we were talking about, as a minister of justice. And what that means is it's not about just convictions, right? And it's not about winning or losing cases. And it's about being an advocate. To be an advocate for all the victims that you're going to encounter, whose lives often have been inalterably changed, sometimes forever. You're the voice for the voiceless, the vulnerable, and the powerless. Your job is also to make sure that you seek a just result in every case, and that you do so honestly and ethically. And then, of course, and they're all equally important, you are to protect the innocent. That's an awful lot of responsibility that you have, but you're up to the task. This is for sure. I remember someone once said, what we do as prosecutors is often the first line of defense when it comes to protecting every person's rights. We need to always ask, did the police make the right decision? They're only human. Was the evidence legally seized? Is it admitted legally and fairly? We gotta listen to everybody. We gotta listen to the opposing counsel. Sometimes mom and dads, pastors, rabbis, coaches, teachers, I'm sure you've had this happen already. They'll come to the courtroom and they'll want to talk to you about the person that's so important to them. They want to tell you something else about them. It's okay. You want to listen to them. You want to know every single piece of information that you can to help you make a just and right decision in a case. We want you to always think in a principled way, right? Everything you do and you say and you reason for should be based on what is really principled and a core value of who we are. And in the end, you've got to have, and we do have, an unshakable duty to the truth. What is the truth? We're always seeking the truth. I did recognize already your training officer that just went through all of that with you. You got a standing round of applause, Will, because you do an exceptional job. Thank you for helping us help you to become truth seekers, to becoming real advocates. And as I said just a few minutes ago, it's all types of crimes. Right now, they're not the most serious, but you're going to be working your way up to some very serious crimes. Violent crimes, sexual crimes, domestic violence that impacts families to a tremendous degree. Human trafficking, which you know, Miami-Dade is the #1 in Florida, and Florida is #3 in the country for the numbers of human trafficking victims. They are very vulnerable, which is why they're trafficked in the first place. There's manslaughter cases, vehicular manslaughter, all families that suffer so much when all of a sudden their loved one was killed in a car crash. Homicides, gun violence. These are the sort of things that you will be as you grow and you learn and you really learn how to seek the truth, how to put a case together, how to be a strong advocate and do so fairly and equally. These are the kinds of challenges, but they're going to be so rewarding. So we talk a little heavy now about what all your responsibilities are, but what's really true is that this will end up being one of the most rewarding experiences that you're ever going to have. And I know many of you spoke to previous assistant state attorneys, some of these judges that you spoke with. They'll all tell you the same thing. Whether they're in big law or they're ambassadors today or judges today or professors, they'll always say, you know, when I was assistant state attorney, that was the best job I ever had. And it will be the best job. It's up to you, but it will be the best job you've ever had. So now, fun facts. Do you want to know about this new class? Okay, so they're very diverse. Oh, I noticed you all started jittering in your seats. So they come from all over the country: North Carolina, Florida, obviously, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., Connecticut, Maryland, Idaho, Nevada, California, South Carolina, Texas, New York, Illinois, Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan, Georgia, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Wisconsin, and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, who's from Puerto Rico? Oh, nice. Yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. So they bring with them all sorts of different backgrounds and knowledge and life experiences. And what had they studied undergraduate to get here? Well, they earned their undergraduate degrees in many different fields: criminology, psychology, political science, entrepreneurship, history, Spanish, economics, sociology, legal studies, English, business management, criminal justice, communication, business administration, theology. Don't you steal them from me. Humanities, philosophy, public administration, advertising, homeland security, and literature. I'm exhausted, aren't you? And then they also speak many different languages. So in addition to many that speak Spanish, of course they speak English, but they're also speakers of Haitian Creole, French, Portuguese, German, Russian, Hebrew, Armenian, and Hindi. Many of you have worked as intern in numerous federal and state agencies. You've interned and clerked for many of the judges in our trial and appellate courts. Some of you have interned with municipalities, like where our mayor used to be, City of Miami, and other elected officials. You've been in the military, in law enforcement. You've interned in criminal justice fields with prosecutors and the public defender's office. So think about how diverse that is. Now, how about some fun facts about some of these folks? Are you still like a little nervous? So, we also, circumstantial evidence tells us, you know what I'm going to say, is that it? No, circumstantial evidence tells us that some of the members of this class, as in previous classes, by the way, they have prosecution in their blood because someone in their family was formerly a prosecutor. So let's take Lauren Locke, for example. Lauren, there's Lauren. Lauren is the daughter of a former prosecutor in this same office. Her mother, Gina Mendez Locke. Ariana, do you remember her? Gina. Oh, Gina. Yeah. Gina Mendez Locke was an ASA from 1994 until 1999. And her father, Jeff Locke, is he here too? Oh, Jeff, was a city. Did you work at the City of Miami Police Department when Mayor Diaz was there? Yes, he did. Okay, small world. And we also want to add that since 2018, Mom has been a general magistrate in the Family Division of the Circuit Courts. Mariana Sanchez, where are you? Mariana, there she is. Mariana Sanchez is the younger sister of a current ASA, Carolina Sanchez. Carolina. Thank you. And Carolina has been with us now for 5 years in a row. And you recently joined our career criminal robbery unit. Good for you. Congratulations. So now we have the two sisters serving together, which brings me, when we're talking about siblings, I just want to know, are they sitting together? So we have the subject of two brothers, okay? They happen to be twin brothers, and it's Alex and Max Gonzalez Brito. Where are you? Thank you. Now, the twins went to undergraduate school together. They went to law school at St. Thomas together. Oh, you did? You got sworn in together twice. Today's going to be your second time. And they've made such an impression with all of us, right, in our class and the office as a whole, that our senior employment lawyer was actually giving a lecture to them about public records and things you can and cannot do as an employee of the office. And she's looking out at the audience, and she looks to her right, and she sees this one guy. Then she looks to her left, and she sees the other guy. And she said, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought maybe I was having a blood pressure issue. But all of you have come from different journeys to get here today. And I know you've learned interesting things about each other. For instance, Timur Andrianov, I hope I pronounced that, and Timur, by the way, you were the only one that had the whatever, chutzpah, to ask Justice Curiel. Justice Curiel is one of our Florida Supreme Court justices who was here last week, I think. What did you ask him, like 4 or 5 questions? When people say, do you have a question, they don't mean like 5 questions. No, I'm just teasing you, obviously. He came to America when he was 12 years old, and he gave a stirring presentation on an underappreciated president of the United States. Chester A.R. Okay. Thank you so much, Timur. Natalia Brito made volleyball and its player rotation easy to follow. Where are you? There she is. And I hear that... And we hear that Adam Esquivel did the same for defenses on the football field. Where is he, Adam? And Aubrey Tedford knows everything about Mardi Gras in her native New Orleans. Juan Campos has great enthusiasm for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I hear that he plans to drive to the training center in Doral once a week to fight the deputies. I don't think so. We don't have enough insurance for that. Janelle Fraga is a Swiftie. Where's Janelle? Ah, Swiftie. Who gave a compelling first week presentation about 3 related Taylor Swift songs. Wow, stay tuned. Swift Radio, right? Nice. Brian Ars charmed the class about one of his passions, charcuterie board. What, you didn't bring any samples here today? Sophia Hiedler did the same with her love for pastas. Ah, nice. Esteban Sanchez chronicled the pain and raw emotion of being a Miami Dolphins fan these days. Jake Navin inspired with a spirited telling of a life story of an American Olympian, a World War II veteran, and evangelist Louis Zamperini. All right. Sadie Kaner used her first Friday presentation to bring this class together by teaching all of you how to make friendship bracelets. Did you bring enough to share? Okay, good. There you go. So it's so beautiful to see how close they've all become with each other. And we talked to them about that. You're going to become best friends and make lifelong bonds that you will forever cherish. And I won't go into the detail what else I said. They've been to meet and greets together. They've been to each other's homes. You can see the things they've already done together. And I know it's going to last you a lifetime. So after these 5 weeks, or one of the longest intensive training programs, you're ready. You're really ready. And to all the family members and the parents and friends who are with us today, and those that are watching online, we all just want to say, all of us in the system, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mil gracias for having supported these young kids, made your own sacrifices so that they could have the education and the support they needed to bring them where they are today. You have nurtured and just raised such beautiful, supporting, wonderful, fine people who want to go serve your community, their community, our community. So thank you, and I would like all of our incoming class, stand up, look at your family members, tell them how grateful you are, show them how much love you have for them and gratitude for having been there for them. So on that note, I'm just going to start closing, but I want you, please, thank you. I know it's all these judges in the room, right? You got to keep getting up. But when we interview these young men and women, we often talk about, oh, do you want a tissue? Oh, get her a tissue. Oh. We often talk about you, their family members, and where they lived, and you have no idea how grateful they'll say, my mother, my father, fill in the blank, my grandmother, whatever it may be, what they did for me, I'm so eternally grateful for. And so that's stuff they say when you don't even hear it and you don't even see it. So, in conclusion, I want you to enjoy this chapter. It's going to be one of the best chapters in your legal career. And you will go on to say to yourselves, I did good, because you will do good. And all we ask you to do is just be the very best that you can, commit yourself to justice, make us all proud. So thank you so much. So with that, now we get to the important part, right? So we're going to start with our United States District Court judge who's going to come and swear in all these fine people. She's going to say wonderful words of encouragement. And so would you all join me in welcoming Judge Beth Bloom. who, that's so nice.
Very
We
sweet.
trained you well, this is good, this is good. So Beth Bloom, I have a few things to say about her. Well, it's gonna be long, I'll make it short, I know. But she's been on the federal court. Before that, she was on state court in Miami-Dade County. She actually served for 15 years in county court, and I think that's one reason you became part of this, I don't know, decade tradition, because she was so bonded with the young lawyers, and she was always nurturing and teaching them. And then shortly thereafter, she was appointed to circuit court in 2010, and she was in both of our civil and our criminal divisions. She also served as the associate administrative judge, as does now Judge Christy Nunez. She's been since 2014. She has served as the United States District Judge. Her appointment by the president, and this is really cool, especially today. She won her confirmation unanimously. Right, Brown? So, thank you so much for doing this for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Beth Bloom.
Thank you, Kathy. Hi, good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here, and I just have a few words because this is a day that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Becoming a member of the Florida Bar and being sworn in as an assistant state attorney. And you've gone through a tremendous amount of training, but you've also gone through a tremendous amount of challenges to get to this point. Law school, the bar prep, the great news that you passed the bar, and now joining what many of us believe is the noblest profession, and really serving as an officer of the court. And it is very humbling when I look at the tremendous jurists and leaders in this community that I've had the pleasure not only of swearing in and working with, both when I was in the felony division, but also when I served, and I still do serve, but in several of my trials as a United States District Judge. And I hope that that gives you some inspiration, that this is yet a chapter, but it is the most important chapter. And there will be many moments that you'll reflect back on your experiences that brought you to this chapter today. And so much of what you do from this point forward depends upon the type of lawyer that each of you chooses to be. Are you going to be the one who makes a difference, makes our world a better place? You have already met and you will work alongside many incredible leaders, not only in this room, but throughout this county and throughout the state. Leaders that continue to put their talent, their vision, their brilliance, their heart and soul into this community to make this world a better place for all of us. So you really have to look inside yourself and ask, what's going to be your legacy? And I say that because I've been a member of the Florida Bar now for 38 years. I've been a judge for 31 years. And I've seen a lot in this community, and I've seen a lot of tremendous good from this group of tremendous leaders. And I'm looking forward to seeing that good from you, our future. And today is also your day to express gratitude to the role models in your life. And I know that our state attorney asked you to stand up and look at your friends who have been with you physically, emotionally, financially, and always lovingly. And that's really important that you remember them because they've been there for you. So I really want you to just spend the time reflecting on the achievements you've made, graduating from law school, passing the bar, being hired by the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office from among hundreds of other law school applicants across the country. I was privileged to serve, as Kathy said, 15 years as a state court judge in the criminal division. And the courthouses that you'll be serving in, whether it's here, the Justice Building, the Lawson E. Thomas, the Children's Courthouse, they'll soon be the buildings that you'll call home. And those next to you will be your lifelong colleagues and friends. And I do know firsthand that Kathy selects the best and the brightest. So your selection right now is a monumental achievement. And you have a lot of powers and responsibilities now. And you really must wield your power and embrace those responsibilities to do one thing, and that is to seek justice. So I hope that you heed the words of United States Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson, who served as a United States Solicitor General and an Attorney General. And in his speech at the Conference of the U.S. Attorneys on the Quality of a Good Prosecutor, words that apply to you right now, he said, "The qualities of a good prosecutor are as elusive and as impossible to define as those which mark a gentleman. And those who need to be told would not understand it anyway. A sensitiveness to fair play and sportsmanship is perhaps the best protection against the abuse of power. And the citizen's safety lies in the prosecutor, who tempers zeal with human kindness, who seeks truth and not victims, who serves the law and not factional purposes, and who approaches his task with humility." So I hope that you heed those words so that you will always seek justice. And today, you're going to be sworn in as an attorney, an officer of the court. And I'm so glad that Kathy and her team put together this brochure, because your family can now read these 8 clauses on the back that are your oath of attorney. Your oath is more than a "don't lie, be courteous" statement. You are promising to do something. There are 8 clauses that require action on your part: to support the Constitution, to give due respect for the courts, to refuse to pursue a case that's not grounded in the law, to uphold and follow the law, to maintain an attorney-client privilege and to not steal from your clients, to act with civility and professionalism, and to pledge fairness and be truthful and honorable. And those are principles that will guide you throughout your career. And there is great wisdom in that oath, and I hope that you will keep it as a constant reminder of your ethical obligations as an attorney. And I give this advice to each of you because sooner or later, when you're least expecting it, your moral standards are going to be tested. Your professional ethics will be tested. You're going to be faced with tough questions, and you may not know which way to turn. It may be a mistake you've made and an unwillingness to admit it, discovery that was not turned over and should have been, a witness statement in a case that should have been disclosed, maybe a temptation to send that unprofessional email or text that you composed out of frustration, or placing an argument in a pleading that you know has little support in the law. So like all attorneys before you, you're going to have to decide which road to travel. Should you do or say something or not do or say something? Should you be tempted to go the easier route, especially if no one's looking? And my advice is to go with the harder right versus the easier wrong. And the great Chief Justice Earl Warren once said that the law floats in a sea of ethics. And what is most important is whether you will adhere to your oath from this day forward, from the moment you begin your first day of practice until the moment you retire. And above all, your oath reminds you that you're an officer of the court. It is a most noble calling. If you believe, as I do, that serving as a lawyer is a privilege, it's a calling, it's a vocation, then you act differently and you view your purpose differently than if you see it as just another way to make money. And I know that you're not. But it's really important to understand that, because even today in England, when lawyers become an advocate or barrister, they're called to the bar. Canadian lawyers use the expression called to the bar rather than admitted to the bar, because it's a privilege that's soon going to be conveyed to each of you. In your oath, you will promise the following: to opposing parties and their counsel, I pledge fairness, integrity, and civility, not only in court, but in all written and communications. As you begin your careers here in Florida, I want to speak to you about something that will also define not only your reputation, but also the strength of our system of justice, and that's civility. The need for civility has never been greater. An ABA survey found that 85% of Americans believe that civility in our society is worse than it was 10 years ago. And that perception matters, because when people see shouting, insults, and hostility replacing dialogue, they begin to lose faith that disagreements can be reached fairly. And our country is facing a serious civic knowledge gap. The Annenberg Public Policy Center reported that less than half of Americans can even name all three branches of government, and more than 70% fail a basic civics quiz. Think about that. Most people do not fully understand how our government functions or the role that courts play. And without that understanding, mistrust grows. And recent polls show that only 35% of Americans say that they have confidence in the courts. And a majority now believe that the Supreme Court is too mixed up in politics. How sad, but that's where you come in. Because as lawyers, you are both advocates and you're educators. The way you conduct yourself in court, in depositions, in conversations, with victims, with witnesses, that teaches people what justice looks like. If you're respectful, professional, and clear, and you model a system that is worthy of trust, then the public trusts you. The public trusts our system. But if you're hostile or uncivil, then you confirm the public's worst fears. And Florida courts have been clear about this. Our appellate courts have reminded attorneys that zealous advocacy does not equate with offensive or abusive conduct. Judges across the state have sanctioned lawyers for incivility, not because the judges are thin-skinned, but because disrespect undermines the fairness and efficiency of proceedings. So I want to emphasize that civility is not about being soft. It's about being persuasive. It is about listening as carefully as we speak, arguing passionately without demeaning, and disagreeing without disrespect. So you're going to face moments where others may want you to be more aggressive, or opposing counsel may try to provoke you. But in those moments, you need to remember that civility is strength. It is the lawyer who keeps calm, who remains respectful, who focuses on substance rather than insults. That's the lawyer that's the most effective. So as you take your oath today, I just want you to carry this with you. Be zealous, but be civil. Be strong and principled, but be respectful. The future of our courts and the public's faith in our courts depends upon each of you, the new lawyers that are privileged to practice in our courts. So before I ask you to stand and recite the 8 clauses, I have 4 pieces of advice for each of you. Number 1 is remain grateful and strive for harmony. And that's important. Gratitude will decrease your response to stress, which is going to be inevitable. Remember the gifts that you've been given. Look at your family, but also look at your intellect, your temperament, as well as your loved ones. Stay grateful, and that will improve your outlook toward problem solving and enhance your relationships, both personal and professional. And harmonize your work commitments with your health and your relationships. In law, as in life, your challenge will be to not lose perspective on what's important. And it starts with your family and friends. They have been there for you and will continue to be there for you. So be there for them. My second piece of advice is to continue to be a student. You just went through a training, you finished 3 years of law school, but you got to keep learning, because there are going to be times when the work may seem unimportant or too complex. You need to adjust your expectations and learn a new area of law that may be required. Be faithful to the law, read new cases when they're published. You'll stumble, but learn from others and from your own mistakes. Fail forward. The times when you get knocked down and get back up, those are the times that are going to define you. You'll be nervous interviewing victims and witnesses, walking up to the podium to begin your oral argument, arguing your position on a complex legal issue, but learn to be good and then work to be great. And when others doubt you, don't let their doubt distract you from your purpose, but do accept well-placed criticism and learn from it. Remember that relationships are important. They are where we impact people's lives. So surround yourself with people who will inspire you. It will make you a better lawyer and a person, and it'll keep you humble. My third piece of advice is to protect your reputation. Be an officer of the court. And what that means is that you should safeguard your good reputation by always conducting yourself in a professional manner. Resist the urge to disparage others and the legal profession, and never, ever tarnish your reputation by compromising your integrity. Finally, give back. Do pro bono work and engage in public service and positive change. Lawyers who engage in pro bono service to protect those who cannot help themselves or work to promote social justice are truly the heroes of the legal profession. There are so many people in need, and just look at the wonderful programs that our state attorney has established. The Second Chance Program, the Victim Assistance Programs, gun violence initiatives, the Justice Project. So many opportunities have been created by the tremendous vision of our state attorney and her team. I want to share with you that our state attorney, Kathy Fernandez-Rundle, as you may have already guessed because I do this every year, she's one of my heroes. She's funny, but her intellect, passion, and deep commitment to justice is what has inspired me for over 30 years. It's true. Another one of my heroes is the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she consistently and admirably was a voice for positive social change, just like Kathy. Through her work, she shaped the law and the rights of so many people and possessed a strength of character and purpose. She famously said that whatever you choose to do, leave tracks. That means you don't do it just for yourself. You will want to leave the world a better place for having lived there. So I am proud to share this day with you. But as you leave the room as the newest members of the Florida Bar, leave tracks. May each of you use your time and your talents to make our world a better place. It is now my honor to administer the oath of admission, and I ask that each of you stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. And I don't know if you want to take pictures, but I'll let everybody get their phones out while I put on my robe. Does everybody have their phones? You ready? Okay. All right. Everybody have their phones ready to go? Okay. Everybody raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Florida.
And the Constitution of the State of Florida.
I will maintain the respect due to courts of justice and judicial officers.
I will maintain the respect due to courts of justice and judicial officers.
I will not counsel or maintain
I will not counsel or maintain
any suit or proceedings
which
shall appear to me to be unjust,
shall appear to me to be unjust,
nor any defense except such as I believe to be honestly debatable under the law of the land. I will employ for the purpose of maintaining the causes confided in me such means only as are consistent with truth and honor. And will never seek to mislead the judge or jury. By any artifice or false statement of fact or law. I will maintain the confidence. And preserve inviolate the secrets of my clients. And will accept no compensation in connection with their business. Except from them or with their knowledge and approval. To opposing parties and their counsel. I pledge fairness. Integrity. And civility. Not only in court. But also in all written and oral communications. I will abstain. From all offensive personality. And advance no fact. prejudicial to the honor or reputation of a party or witness, unless required by the justice of the cause with which I am charged. I will never reject from any consideration personal to myself the cause of the defenseless or oppressed, or delay anyone's cause for lucre or malice. So help me God. Congratulations.
Okay, they're just getting their pictures all together. Alrighty then. To the second half of this very exciting moment. By the way, what about a nice applause for those words by Judge Bloom? You are. I think all of we lawyers already here, we were re-inspired by all of those principles that you mentioned. So now you can all stay standing, and we have the honor today of having Judge Yvonne Cuesta. I talked about you at the beginning. She is the Deputy Chief of the Criminal Division. So she's Deputy Chief to our Chief Judge, Ariana. Thank you. She's letting you do this, and we're so grateful that you are.
It's my honor.
We all have such admiration for you. So if you would, I think, by the way, the oath is also on the back.
This one's a lot shorter. Please raise your right hands to be sworn and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. That I will support. Protect. And defend the Constitution. And government of the United States. And of the state of Florida. That I am duly qualified to hold office. Under the Constitution of the state. And that I will well. And faithfully perform. The duties of Assistant State Attorney. On which I am now. About to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
All right. Wow, was that a great moment or what? It's really to everyone that came today, from our clerk to all of our wonderful judges, if you'd stay also for some photographs. I know they and their families would love to have a photograph with all of you. To Pastor Johnson, to all of the leadership team in the state attorney's office. Also, Judge Cuevo, I saw you come in at the end. Huh? Oh, Correa. Oh, I'm so Correa. I know what you're doing. I don't have my glasses on. I apologize. In any event, all time? And Judge Corsilli? Oh, thank you, Judge. Okay, so that you guys came in late, and I apologize. But we're very proud of you. Also, Judge Correa was a former assistant state attorney, too. And so, family, this concludes this event. But we know you want to stay and take photographs, so how should we organize this, Trevor? Why don't we start with the judges first, so if you need to go, and the clerk, of course, Pastor Johnson, Michael, the president. We're so proud of you in law enforcement. Thank you so much. Carlos, why don't you come if you want any pictures or no? Okay. All right, family. What do you want us to do about signing?